What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Mike Rock Uncensored. If you are enjoying the content, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like, subscribe, and follow button so that you can receive all the latest updates as soon as I make them available to you. I notice when I'm talking to you guys, I'm getting ready to fumble with my words. I've said that first part so much that my lips will move one way, but the words coming out will actually say what they're supposed to say. So if it looks like Chinese Kung Fu theater, just know I've been training for that message for a very, very long time. Anyways, we are going to get back into my top 5 pet peeves. And this time we're going to do it with politics. And I know, wait, before I get into that, I know a lot of you guys don't like talking about politics, but I am hoping, and I'm trying to get better at it. I realize that I'm very passionate about politics because of the impact it has on us as a people, but I am also trying to think about the community when we have these conversations so that we can create an environment that's a little bit more lighthearted when we talk about things. Yes, we're going to be passionate about it. Some of us will get frustrated and angry, but just like a basketball court, it's like you hop into the arena, you hop onto the court, you're competitive, you're angry, and then you hop off and the respect is back to where it needs to be. So I'm trying to create that environment. If you guys don't agree or like what I said because you're left, liberal, or whatever, just know that I do my best not to take anything too personally. I believe that we should have an election system that can do its job, and regardless of what we think, as long as we're educated and stay informed, that we should be able to vote. Our votes should matter, and we just let the governments do their jobs after we voted on what should or shouldn't happen in this country. I mean, it really should be that simple. I realize it's not, but at least here in this arena, you guys know that we love everybody. We have respect for everybody, and who you are doesn't define your position and stuff in our community. So, with that said, number 5, a lack of interest from the people. I believe we have been bred. I believe that it's a trick by the government for us to have been bred to not want to talk about politics, because the less we want to talk about politics, the more we're allowed to let the government get away with. And I think that needs to change. I'm not saying that we should be spending our entire lives reading the fine print and figuring out where we should be voting on an individual basis, but I do believe that we should be getting more involved and know what we are voting for. So, not a big deal right now, but I do believe people should be taking more of an interest in politics. If you've got kids, you should care about their future. If you have issues that you feel are wrong or that are wrong, inflation and taxes and all this other kind of good stuff, then you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to pay enough attention to not just vote blue because, oh, I'm team blue and I don't care what your policies are. I'm just going to vote team blue or team red. Know what you're voting for. Believe in what you're voting for, at least as much as humanly possible. Number 4, censorship. I made sure, excuse me for mumbling, but I made sure that none of my top 5 pet peeves had anything to do with picking a side, choosing a side. I realize that a lot of my frustrations could be applied to any side, and censorship for me is a really big thing. And I don't like censorship because we should be able to share our opinions. And if you're wrong, then the evidence and facts out there will support the fact that you're just wrong. Or maybe I think you're wrong and I give you the evidence and facts, and then you respond with your own set of evidence and facts. And we end up coming to a compromise, or we realize that there is no real wrong answer here. It's just a way of figuring out what the best solution to appease both sides would be. And so when you censor information, to me, you're basically saying that you don't want people to know the truth. You don't want to open up people's minds and ideas to the fact that what you're selling us on is not what's best for the people. And that's what I care about more than anything else. At the end of the day, yes, survival, personal survival, but we can't even get there if we aren't working together as a country to make this happen. So censorship, we need to be able to talk about things, period. What else? Number 3, our election system. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Biden, for instance, stole the election from Trump. That's not what this conversation is about. But we should be adult enough to look at all of the evidence that has come out over the past 4 years. And I'm sure that it's been out longer than that, but I've only had a vested interest in politics for just over 4 years. And I think there is a more than enough information out there to strongly suggest that something is very wrong with our election system. So instead of us crying and complaining about what's already happened, what do we do to ensure moving forward that our vote actually matters, that my one vote counts, that when the election is said and done, we may not like the results, but we know it was done fairly. I don't think anybody from either side can 100% say that that's what's going on. We've got Democrats going to jail, Republicans going to jail. There's a lot of people, when all is said and done, that are having to answer for wrongdoings that they've committed regarding the election. So it is a pet peeve of mine for people to want to tell us that the election system is fair, that it's absolute, that it's 100% accurate, when we know 100% that it's not. It's frustrating. You're looking, that's that whole lying thing again. You're looking me in my face and calling me a liar because I know something's wrong. You're playing me for stupid. I don't like it, and it's agitating, period. What else we got? Number 2, a lack of honesty and transparency from our government. I don't know if you guys know, but enough time has elapsed on the President Kennedy shooting where we, the public, should have access to it. There is a thing in law that says that after so much time, you can no longer hold certain documents as classified, and we have access to that. That access is now available to us. But for whatever reason, the shooting of President Kennedy, there's a lot of redacted statements that are still in there that we won't have access to for a very long time, if ever. And to me, that's not being transparent. That's not, you're basically saying that you know better than us, and either you did something wrong and you don't want us to know about it, or you can't trust us with the truth. And to me, that's disrespectful because we're the ones that voted you into office. Again, unless there's something wrong with the election system, we had nothing to do with how you got there. But yeah, no, not just that, but why can't we have, if the Epstein list is full of people who had something to do with child trafficking or having some kind of quote unquote relationship with minors that they should not have been having, why can't we have access to it? Why, at the very least, aren't these people on trial or being investigated? Because I think that it's a protected class. There's people that they're protecting on that list, and they're basically saying that whether we condone what you did or not, you're bigger than the law. You're above the law. We have to protect you at all costs, and you don't care enough about those children. So, without really going into that subject, it's just the fact that our government isn't very honest with us, and they're not transparent with us at all. They genuinely feel that we are either too dumb or just not too bright. No, I'm not bright enough to have the information that they have access to, and they're not giving it to us. How do you trust a government that doesn't trust you? I don't know. Last but not least, and it goes into the lack of honesty and transparency, is accountability. At the end of the day, everything that is going on in our government right now, they will lie to your face. They will get caught lying. They will do some horrendous things, but it's always plausible deniability. Nobody is taking accountability for their actions, and neither side is holding the other side accountable. And I really believe, if you look at our government, this is really simple. This is not coming from an expert. This is just coming from a normal citizen here in America that knows what they're looking at. If you pay attention to who's in our government right now, there are a number of people, the Clintons, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi. There are a number of people who, and Biden himself, he's been there since 1970 something, 78 at least. But there are a number of people who are in office who have been there way too long from both sides, and they're doing some things. And I believe a lot of this dirt is coming from them protecting the swamp. We need to drain that swamp because they don't feel that they have to be accountable for anything. It needs to go. It needs to be drained. Anyways, those are my top 5 pet peeves in politics. What are yours? I want to know. Let me know in the comment section. And if nothing else, just let me know that you appreciate the video. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys again soon.